Alright, so the Eternity page on the Mabinogi Korea website has been updated. So there's a lot of new posts, and we're going to look at this one first. So, Aaron long-term repair plan. So today I would like to explain the various processes for importing Mabinogi's 3D resources into Unreal Engine. In general, commercial engines, resources created with 3D tools are imported through a format called FBX. The Pleon engine uses its own extension called PMG. Therefore, in order to import already created 3D resources into Unreal Engine, a tool to convert the extension was needed. Thanks to quick development of the tools, porting each region went very smoothly. So it looks like they've already ported like all these regions into the game, but they still have to go over them, edit them, and make them look good. Like add all the movement permissions and stuff. So we were able to quickly port all areas in Erin to Unreal Engine. Of course, it would be nice if it ended here, but it would be difficult to say that the porting was complete simply by importing it. So yeah, they have to like add all the movement permissions and stuff. And here you can see them importing like resources from the logging camp in this picture. This is like Dugald Isle. Since detailed materials were not expressed in Pleon, it was also necessary to set each material anew to suit the Unreal environment. So like this is the road in Dumbarton. And I think this is what it looks like with the Unreal thing. That looks really good if that's in Unreal Engine. Things that were made so long ago that their form itself needs to be renewed may need to be replaced by making something completely new. I imagine they'll have to do a lot of that for like the insides of buildings and stuff, especially since like the insides of a lot of buildings are like 2D and look really crappy when you actually move the camera angle around in there. But here we can actually finally get like a good view of Dumbarton. So you can see how they changed like the entrance to Dumbarton here, and this looks really good. And also you can see like this board here, but it doesn't have anything on it where there'd usually be images. So it mostly looks like they're done with Dumbarton. Only after going through this process can you complete the background resources that fit the engine environment. Fortunately, all regions were quickly imported using the porting tool. It was pointless to transplant the costumes and hair in their basic form. The framework and wires themselves are lacking to provide natural movement. This is because the skin of the hands and feet also had to be replaced. Because there were many parts that were difficult to meet Eternity's standards, it was in a state where it could only be brought in after some processing had been completed from the beginning. First, rather than taking the basic form as is, we proceed with modeling work to process it to meet Eternity's standards. In particular, we add more wires so that not only the hands and skin, but also the clothes and hair can move naturally. Once the modeling is completed, a framework for natural movement is planted. If you make various settings so that the skeleton can move well. Okay, here's a video. Let's see that. Yeah, that looks really good. Of course, things with simple porting processes can be ported efficiently using automation tools. So here's like some weapons. As the final resource production is completed after going through such a variety of processes, the efficiency of the overall process is very important, as there is a lot of work to be done. We are building a solid foundation so that we can build on it without collapsing. So we saw this in the Korean fantasy party. They're like changing outfits and showing how like the hair and the outfits move. So this looks really good. I like the way this turned out, and it kind of shows us that like Dumbarton is in progress right now, and it's getting a lot better. You can kind of see like here how the shingles don't look very good right here. But they look really good, like, in this image on the right. Like, look how much more detail they have now. The flow of time. So this is going to explain how time is going to flow in the Unreal Engine update. And this is a very long post, so I'm not going to read all of this information. I'm just going to read, like, some of the important parts, and we'll look at the pictures in the videos. If you think about the flow of time changes during the day, morning sunlight, noon, sunset, and moonlight in the night sky. The movement of light and the changing shadows are probably the first things that come to mind. As time passes, the position of light moves and the shape of shadows changes. So you can see that in this moving picture here, but for some reason the page is kind of loading this image slow, so I just opened it in a new tab, and you can see it right here. So like as time passes, the shadows are like moving and changing. So light movement and shadow movement changes. And here on the left we have the Turconale Bank in Pleon Engine, and on the right we have it in Unreal. So you can see how like the shadows are moving and changing shape, and how like the lighting is changing, and you can see like the clouds moving in the sky there. Yeah, these videos don't want to load on this page for some reason. Hopefully anyone else that looks at this will have better luck than I'm having. But it seems to be working better if I just open these videos in a new tab. And here we can see like the shadows of like the lights and the windmill and the building like moving as time passes. And here you can see how like the sky is changing over the windmill. So this is like the day going by. And this art looks really good. And again, this isn't final. It says not final right here and right here. So this is really cool. You can see, like, you can see time passing in the game. You can see the clouds moving. So this is what it's gonna look like in Turco now when the Unreal update comes out. And that looks really amazing. And here we can see like the shadows move, like the shadows of the fence here. So we can see that the shadows are starting to become more visible and show. And then they're slowly moving as time passes, like the sun is moving, the shadows are moving the opposite direction. And then this will show us rain. So they also showed this during the fantasy party in Korea. So you can see the rain, and you can see how the wood is darker because it's wet. And you can see the raindrops like soaking into the wood. That looks really good. And you can see like how the roof looks a little bit darker, like here. Because it's like wet, and so is the stone to the building. So the rain effect looks really cool too. So yeah, this is gonna be how like time will pass differently. This is all about like how time will pass differently in Unreal 5, and how like weather effects like rain will look. So this is a pretty long post, and maybe that's why some of these things are having some trouble loading. But I would recommend taking a look at it. When you think of Mabinogi, isn't it about dying? So this is all about the new dying system that they're working on. So let's start right down here. We'll watch this video real quick. And you can see like all the outfits and the, you know, like the wig, the boots. And you can like see their colors. And so far I like this new dyeing window. I think this looks really good. This is a screen in development. The UI configuration, operation, design, and details may change when Eternity is updated. The basic menu UI is a temporary version at the time of dying system development. Please look forward to the UI section in the next season's post. So I'm assuming the next season's post will probably be in December, because that's when they posted information last December too. But yeah, I am looking forward to reading their UI changes. So enter dyeing mode. When you dye your hair and don't get the color you want, using the dye ample, select the target from the list and dye it to the desired color. I'm sure you've had the experience of repeating the same process multiple times. At this time, you have to look at the same window several times and repeat the same actions over and over again. I was thinking, wouldn't it be convenient if I could just go straight to the dyeing process? Since we're already at it, we're improving it so that we can go straight into the unique mode where we can dye our hair. Wouldn't it be even better if, while dyeing one item, you could select another item and start dyeing it right away? Yeah, that would be pretty convenient. The list of dyeable items on the left includes not only equipment you are wearing, but also you can select all the dyeable items you have in your inventory. For example, you can sort by selecting only wig items or only shoe items. We are working on further improvements to provide a variety of filtering features. Everyone thought hard about the new clothes and dyed them with care in each dyeing pot. There must have been a moment where you felt something was a little lacking. Once you enter dyeing mode, you don't have to close and reopen the dyeing screen multiple times. Yeah, that would be really nice to not have to do that all the time. Divided the desired color into parts and pour the color in advance. We took great care to ensure that you could see what color combinations would look like. However, just like before, with one dyeing operation, I'm thinking of a direction where one item can only be dyed in one part. It's not that I haven't considered dyeing multiple items or multiple parts at once, but in that case, what is the item consumed and what is the color before and after dyeing? Because it was anticipated that the guidance on how it had changed would become too complicated. So, dyeing result information window. While we're on the subject, I also tried to make the results of the dyeing window look better. So you can see like the old dyeing window that we have right here after dyeing something on the left, and on the right you can see the new one. So yeah, that looks a lot better. I believe I'm not the only one who has always been bothered by the global line breaks in the results window. This is an issue with the results window that is used not only for dyeing but also many other systems. Improvements to this part will be detailed in the next post. First, I thought about how to improve readability in the dyeing results window. Which item part changed from its original color to what color before and after dyeing. I've improved it to show it more clearly with the color code value. At first, of course, only RGB code was shown. Some newcomers to the Eternity Project have expressed the opinion that hex code is easier to understand. When I compared it to my previous experience with Mabinogi, I thought that RGB alone would be sufficient. For new militians who are new to Mabinogi after the Eternity update, I thought that the hex code would be easier to recognize and memorize. So, dye color palette. So here's what that looks like right here. First of all, the colors that were unique to Mabinogi that I originally used were distorted. There was some concern about whether the messy, tangled appearance of the palette should be maintained. Like other games, you could have just chosen to present all colors in the form of a smooth, natural color wheel. Our color palette did not include all colors. Some were hesitant to take that path for various reasons, as it was only available in limited quantities in the area. So, by utilizing the 40,000 colors provided in the existing palette, I just wanted a version where those colors were arranged a little better and more naturally. And you can see like some pictures of that right here. There is a huge difference between the way humans perceive color to be natural and the way computers understand color ordering. There was a gap between the Torii Canyon and the Sanctuary of Avalon that was so difficult to bridge. No matter what method I used, I couldn't automatically list a pretty color spectrum. Eventually, at some point, someone had to manually tweak the results. I considered splitting the palette into 2 parts, but I wanted to avoid adding extra depth when dyeing. Looking at the dye palette, I kept wondering throughout the development period, where on earth did the satisfaction I felt when dyeing my hair come from? A. Select 1 or more colors from the color palette. This is the so-called physical area. B. Repeat until the desired color is dyed by breaking the 1 out of 5 probability realm of fighting the odds. Here's the area of A. It was very difficult to choose the desired color from the confusing color palette. In the area of B, there is still means to successfully dye directly through dyeing, but requires a separate cost. So yeah, this is the first post on the Korean Eternity site about the new dyeing system that they are working on. And there's also a part 2, so we'll go over that as well. So when you think about Mabinogi, isn't it about dyeing part 2? In the second installment of Dye, new additions are made in Eternity. I would like to introduce in more detail the parts that have been improved and supplemented from the existing ones. So material palette. Oh, that's really cool. So you can see like how the palette is changing like with each tab that they click on. Mabinogi had a variety of color palettes including cloth, metal, leather, and silk. Depending on the item, there is a setting that says this part of the costume uses a metal palette. There were often situations where we had no choice but to dye some items with limited colors. In Mabinogi, the charm of dyeing your hair with a variety of colors is revealed. We judged that there would be little need to maintain restrictions in this area. We improved the dyeability of all dyeable items so that you can now choose one palette among the cloth, metal, leather, and silk palettes to dye. There are cases where multiple color tables are matched to the same palette. For example, even if it is the same metal palette, there are several types. Click on the desired material palette to see the materials that belong to that palette. I've included one of every existing palette to alternate between. So palette enlargement, this is pretty cool. So you can see how this is the palette zoomed out, like right here. Right here the palette zoomed out, and then like it zooms in. So it's easier to select the colors that you want when you're like zoomed into it. And here's another improvement to the dye palette. In the past, there were many times when it was difficult and uncomfortable to select colors at pixel by pixel levels. Hold down the control key while hovering over the palette with your cursor, and it enlarges so you can see it better. Yeah, that's really cool. Let's go and watch this real quick. Okay, so they're showing off like all the different dye tabs and the colors. Yeah, nice. Added various conveniences. Every Militian has his or her own color preference. Since the color of choice, once decided, does not change easily, the colors that are frequently used when dyeing are decided upon. To reduce the hassle of having to choose these frequently used colors from the palette every time you dye a new piece of clothing, we've added a new feature to make it easier to automatically select a color by registering it as a favorite once you've chosen it. That's nice. Additionally, dyeing is sometimes used to apply special colors that do not exist in the color palette. When you enter dyeing mode, you can check the dyes you currently have in your inventory and apply them right away. Additionally, when listing the stains, the colors are arranged in order from dark to light. For those who are new to dyeing in Mabinogi, the two most confusing points are, first, you have to choose the color yourself from a somewhat confusing looking dye palette. Second, there is a process in which 5 candidate colors are selected, one of which is randomly selected and dyed. Choosing a color is not easy, and I was very concerned about the current situation where the color I chose with great effort was not confirmed to be dyed. Like other games, it has a natural color wheel. We also considered providing all colors and a process for easily picking and dyeing the colors. However, when reflecting on it, many people said that it was not a dye that was truly Mabinogi-like. As difficult as it is to dye an item, I decided that there is definitely joy in developing my own individuality with more affection. Instead, you can use a regular dye and choose one color of your choice. We decided to provide an additional method to ensure definitive dyeing. Select a color other than the desired color among the 5 colors selected. I tried adding the ability to exclude from the result color and set this process to require a different resource. We are considering the optimal solution to prevent items with the same function, such as existing direct dyeing amples, from losing their jobs. Other things to consider. In addition to the general functions I have mentioned so far, we are developing to reflect the following additional elements. Dyeing zone. Setting the light source, such as natural light outside and inside at different times of day. A dedicated dyeing space where you can preset environmental elements such as black, all white backgrounds, chroma key backgrounds, etc. Mannequins of different genders and races. Ability to dye items of different races and genders while freely checking the results using preset mannequin elements. I want to gift an item to a friend in a color that matches their preference, but it was so hard because I couldn't try it on every time I dyed it. Now I'm in the process of setting up an environment where I can dye it by putting it on a mannequin instead. Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea if you could like use a mannequin item to put clothing items on and like try dyeing it using that method instead. Like if you're trying to dye something for a friend but you're not the right gender or the right race to wear the outfit, that'd be a good way to preview it. Eternity offers the experience of playing Mabinogi today. Numerous convenience improvements are being made while maintaining the best possible experience. For militians who will one day take their first steps into eternity, this is an environment where they may experience too many changes at once, no matter how good the change in direction may be. There will be a fair amount of confusion for a while, which may not necessarily be a good thing for the gameplay experience. Yeah, that is true. There is a huge problem with Mabinogi is there's so much content in the game already that, like, if everything changes, it's gonna take a while for new players to adjust. So to help those of you who will reach the destination called Eternity adapt quickly, as an example, the improvements related to the dying system above were reflected first. We plan to present similar attempts in more fields in the future. Of course, in the process, it may work differently from the original intention. You may notice some shortcomings that we haven't noticed yet. We will even take that part into consideration and try to fully reflect the opinions for improvement. We may show you a more improved version in the finished version of Eternity, or if possible, on the official servers. So yeah, overall this post is really good, and it looks like they are still looking to the players for feedback, which is good. I think they're making the right call being really open with the player base. Like, they're paying attention to like what we're saying, which is definitely a good thing. And I do get it, like, this is going to be a drastic change, right? Mabinogi has so many systems that when we change to Eternity, it's going to feel like a completely different game. Like, that's just how it's going to be. So it is going to be a big adjustment for everyone, but overall I think it's going to be for the best. Like, if we want this game to live another 20 years, like, this update needs to happen, and it's not going to be perfect. There are going to be some people that are angry about it, of course. There are going to be a few long-term Mabinogi players that have probably been around for, you know, 15, 20 years. They're probably, some of them are probably going to be pissed off. But this still needs to happen. And that's just the reality. Like, with an update on this scale, it's impossible to do everything perfectly. There's always going to be something. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to their next post, which will probably be in December, I'm assuming. But that's it for the changes that they're making to the dying system. Alright, let's play some Mabinogi today. So there's a lot of big changes coming on Thursday, like to gear and dungeons and stuff that's going on. It's gonna be an official live stream tomorrow. Gonna watch that. I didn't log in at all yesterday. Totally forgot. Let's take a look here. So I'm about to get the frolicsome gesture card for completing the daily 10 times. So we're gonna do a little expedition. Let's get started. I've already done all my challenge expeditions, so I can't do any of those. We'll have to do a normal one. Oh, we have a ghost. Talk to him in a second. A lot of coins in this one. I do have some ore I can probably give her. A commerce simp if I want to retreat. I don't really have enough points to do that though. Not really the most ideal shoes for this area, but I guess it's better than no shoes at all. Okay, let's eat. Keep ourselves alive. So got some mushrooms and some cheese. Not really having a lot of luck finding artifacts this run. Still have hardly any points. Well, there we go. Finally something nice. Now we're finding some good stuff. I want to eat my food before I use that thing's effect. Otherwise I would have frozen to death out here. Let's get this. Do you sell anything good? You don't sell any artifacts, so no. I don't think I have any food left. Oh wait, I do. Good thing I checked. Grab that mushroom and that bread. Nice. Coin. Gargoyles. What do these do? Okay. Hey, we ate that just in time. Very nice. It's not gonna buy us much time though. Yeah, we're doomed. I don't think that'll help me anymore. Crap, if we've gotten that like a couple seconds earlier, we could have used it. Okay, can't use that. Alright. This is the last chest we'll open. Coin, records, coins. Nice, we got like 3,000 points though. And we'll lose some because we died. Alright, so there we go. Did I already get the rewards here? Yeah, I got the Stardust. I think I got that like Friday or Saturday. I don't really remember. One of those 2 days. I didn't play at all on Sunday, so it didn't happen then. Anyway, we are done with the quest where we complete it 10 times. So 10 more times, and then we get the A Great Day to Explore title. The Continental Compass second title. Yeah, that one looks cool. Where did I put that Stardust anyway? This will expire. We'll use those. There's our gesture card. Oh, here's the Stardust. Let's go to Tara. I'm gonna work on Grandmaster missions for Fighter. Because we have 5 seals. Do I have any quests I need to check off from like last time? No, we're good. Oh, and I could learn the bead burnishing skill if I wanted to. I'll do that today or tomorrow. I'll do it today if I remember or feel like it. If not, we'll just do it like tomorrow or sometime this week. Not a big deal. Alright, so what do we have for the Grandmaster missions? Defeat a red dragon, that's not happening, so get rid of that. 100 lions, and the shadow mission thing, okay. 100 lions isn't that bad, we can do that. I think we can just finish this with Final Strike. Done. And then for lions, those are in the Coracle area near the Sene Meadows Mana Tunnel. I keep this map big for commerce stuff. We'll shrink that down. Might do a little commerce today. And here are the lions. Oh, looks like the giant lion is here. Well, we'll stay out of his way. Whoa. If the lion doesn't come after me. I guess I'll help with the giant lion if other people are fighting him. I'm not gonna be dumb enough to fight him alone. Kind of funny, the lion fighting the lion. We're good on health. I got potions. Not gonna die here. Oh, he got me there. Where'd he go? He just vanished. I guess it's over. Didn't kill him fast enough? That's alright. Fun challenge though. Let's get the rest of the lions that we need for the Dan thing. Actually, we can move faster on a mount. And if they still need lands for something, I'm going to change channels. His Thunder Blight still works even when you're on a mount, so that's nice. Move a little bit faster this way. Just a few more. And those two will do it. Oh, thanks a lot. Now I'm gonna have to wait even longer to change channels. Or warp somewhere. Get out of here. Okay, so that bond is at 80. We can get that to 100 tomorrow. What do I have to feed you? Nothing? I don't think I have that much gold on me, too. But that bunny gotcha is starting up soon. I'm probably gonna play that and just make a fortune off the pets. Like, we have a little over 1 million on us right now. And what do we got in the bank? Oh, hardly anything. So yeah, I'll worry about buying gems later. Alright, let's go turn in these Grandmaster quests. What do we have for shadow missions today, anyway? And the thing I'm really interested in doing. We're gonna do our veteran dungeon after this. If I do Dan tests today, what should I aim for? I've got all my fighter stuff up to Dan 3. Maybe I'll work on puppetry next. I gotta get a little bit more XP on Rising Action, but it looks like Crisis is ready to go up to the Dan 1 level. And do I still have some alchemy training to do? I should... Well, actually, I don't know. It might not matter at this point because the stats for life skills are going to go away. But does Raincasting count as a life skill or not? It'll be interesting to read the notes, like which skills count as a life skill, because there's some skills that are like part of a talent like Battle Alchemy that act more as life skills. Or wait a minute, rain casting is part of Construct Alchemy, my bad. Where's Construct at? Here we go. We'll see their notes soon enough, so let's go ahead and turn these in. That's 2 Grandmaster things. So we need 3 more seals. We can probably get those like tomorrow and Wednesday. So tomorrow or Wednesday we'll go to Grandmaster Fighter. Let's get our veteran dungeon and then normal dungeon, and we'll buy some fine leather and then go do some dungeon work. Rundle dungeon for the veteran dungeon today. Oh, this shop has a lot of stuff on sale. This chair is actually kind of cool. I have that on one of my other characters. Oh cool, that's actually the outfit Xanafiedlion wears. The ancient desert warrior outfit has that cool cat transformation.
모험가 조합은 이쪽이에요.
Daily dungeon. So we have Rundle and Albie today. Very nice. And let's get the fine leather as well.
다음 분.
Let's go ahead and sell that.
뭐야 이 편지는? 불쾌해.
And actually, I have enough to sell a second stack. So that's cool. Let's go ahead and list that too. Because I could use the gold.
좀 쉬었으면 좋겠어.
And we're off to do Rendell Dungeon. And really quick, I will be right back, and then we will do this veteran dungeon. Alright, let's get this veteran dungeon done. So where's that pass at? Here it is. Here, gear ready. Safe. Orb. And staff. So we're going to use a combination of Battle Astrologer and Dark Diviner. These two guys summoned. Pick up gold and leather. Maybe I should actually do a rebirth before I go in there. Yeah, let's do that real quick. Wow, we got a lot of them. Let's open this up. Oh, whoops. Am I going the wrong way? Yep. No sense of direction. Move those keys down here. Come on. There we go. Still gotta get the key from this room. Nice, both my fine leathers sold. Crap. And that way leads to a dead end. This way is the way to go. No matching key. Where'd I miss a key? Unless there's some hallway enemies down here or something. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's put them on ice. Got him. Love the Frost Dragon. Hey, cool, that chair's next. That chair's actually pretty cool looking, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, looks like we're almost to floor 2. Okay, why did we miss that gold? Come on. I wish doll bags were a little bit smarter. Something we can hope for in Unreal. Oh, I guess that one's a fake too. Let's stand far back, and then get this charged up as well. There. And we have this one next. Let's bring that guy closer to the rest of them, pull them closer together. Yeah, just like that. Master of Gravity Well, that's nice. Go ahead and do that real quick. Use this. All those swords in here. Pull them closer together. Nice. Oh, and there's the boss room, so we're pretty close. We still need a boss key, though. Which will probably be in this room up here. Wait, what? Oh yeah, here it is. Now they showed up. That must have been the real chest. Well, let's still take out the, Hey! Get out of here. Still take out the fake ones. And we have to get the boss key from here. There we go. Get rid of all these skeletons. Did not mean to get the boss that. I think I'll be able to get him with 4 meteors. We'll have this one. Then the time shift one, which will be 2. 1, 2. And then we're gonna get a boost pretty soon that'll give us a 4th meteor. Let's get him with Fate Foretold. I think for this boss it's better to keep our distance, so let's go ahead and switch to Mage. Hey. Get off my tail. See that? Okay, I have another meteor in just a second. stay back there. You're not getting over here yet. Nice. Okay, 4th meteor. Don't move. Stay right there. There we go. And he's down in 33 minutes and 7 seconds. Why are they grabbing that gold? Oh well. What do we have in here? Smoldering thread, spirit gems. These useless reforged tools and signets are getting removed on Thursday. Good riddance to those. Not much good. Never have been. So we still have Albi dungeon to do. Let's get some random items and see if I can pull a dungeon pass. And this might be one of the last times I'll actually need to do this because we're going to be able to enter a lot of these dungeons without needing dungeon passes, I guess. I think it's being replaced with like some sort of pass for like, what was it, Rabbi Phantasm or something? I'll have to check the notes again. Okay, yeah, we got some dungeon passes. Wait, those any pass selection boxes can stay. And destroy everything else. Wait, we're not quite done. We got some cobwebs and crap down here. clear that out. There we go. I don't need those Beltane passes. I mean, I'll be doing Nowhere to Run, like, later after the update. But right now I don't need to do it. Like, when the new Arcana come out, I'll be doing that for, like, quick leveling. But right now they're kind of useless. So LB Dungeon is the other one, right? Yeah, we're gonna do that. Next, we'll do that on, Actually, it's better if I use my other armor anyway, because I need to get the proficiency up on that. But we'll just use Dark Diviner and Mage in there. We're gonna do LB Hard Mode Advanced. Oops, not CR. There we go, up here. Figured it was maxed out on GP there. Let's donate that. Been a while since I've done that. For this one, we'll probably just let Thunderblight do most of the work. Come on, you're not finished gathering yet. There's gold over there too. And now for the boss. This won't take too long. Let's get these red spiders out of here. These little ones. And done. Death arrow? What kind of enchant scroll's that? Never seen one like that before. Probably for archery, I imagine. Okay, where'd that go off to? Energetic. Blazing. Crescent moon. Obsidian. Catastrophic. Where'd that death arrow thing go? I picked it up. Morning. Oasis. Diamond. Afternoon. Where'd that thing go? Dawn. Yes, none of those. How do I have food in here? Huh. Weird. And for some reason I have a sewing kit equipped. Let's take that off. Rhythm. Yeah, I don't know where that death arrow enchant scroll went off to. Water drop. Well, whatever. Find it later. Actually, I could search for it. I don't use this feature enough. They got like a little icon for just enchant scrolls. Oh, it's in that bag. Completely missed it over here. I am as blind as a bat. So this is for crossbows. If arrow revolver is rank 9 or higher, min damage goes up by 4. If arrow revolver is rank 6 or higher, max damage goes up by 10. Okay. And it takes away 20 will. Interesting. What rank is that? A rank 8 prefix? Huh. Not sure if that's a very good enchant or a bad one. And I think we'll wrap things up right around here for today. We'll make today's stream a little short. We'll go back to longer streams like after the dungeon update is done, but until then there's not too much going on, so... Small Mabby stream today. So tomorrow we'll be doing Contraband Police from noon to... well, actually from noon until like 1:30 or 1:40. And then I have to watch the official Mabby live stream that's on it too. And then after that we'll do Mabinogi at 4.